Hey everybody. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how I draw the Joker. And most of the time when I draw the Joker, I base how I draw him off of how he looked in the DC animated universe, inspired by Bruce Timm's art. So here we go. I'm going to start with the head, draw a circle with the lines in. No. Here's the neck. And these are the lines coming down to the shoulders. And I'm going to put the chest in here just to kind of line up the figure what I have on here. Have this center line come all the way down, and I'm only going to kind of come to the bottom of his waist for this picture. Alright, so here's his back coming from the shoulder. So now we got to put the arms in there. So first I'm going to put his left arm on our right in there. So I'm going to put this kind of block shape for the shoulder. This block right here. Again, I'm going to try and illustrate how I'm building this up using simple shapes. So from this block we're going to come down here for the upper arm. It's just kind of like a cylinder coming down. The elbow is going to be right here where the arm bends. I'm going to have this arm coming across, and it's just another cylinder. Now the Joker wears his purple jacket, so you're not really going to see as much definition in his arms or anything, like his muscles. So here's a square for the top of the hand. I'm just going to cube it out just to kind of show you the shape for the fist. So now we've got that in there. I'm going to go ahead and start putting the other arm in. Now I'm going to draw the arm first before I put the hand in, just to show you guys where the arm is going to be, but the arm is actually going to, the upper arm is actually going to be covered up by the hand where I'm going to place the hand. But here is kind of it's the upper arm, here's where the elbow is, and this is the forearm. And what I'm doing right here is I'm doing these circles and another circle on top of it. This is kind of a trick that I use to help me realize the depth of something. So you kind of put these circles in to give it weight, so you can kind of understand what you're doing. So here is the fist I'm going to block in, and I'm going to have him sticking up his fingers. So these are the other three fingers, and then I'm going to have his pointer finger right here. Alright, so here's the hand right here. Here's like right here, this part of the hand I'm putting in there. I'm going to go ahead and separate the fingers, break that down for you. Now we're going to put the thumb on the other side right here. And just like the bottom part right there is what I'm showing you. So now I've got his hand in here. Put kind of the lip of his glove right here by his wrist. And then this is where you have his purple jacket again, and as you can see, the arm is behind his hand now, so you can't even really see it. Alright, before I finish the details in here on his suit, I'm going to go ahead first I'm going to do this hand, and then I'm going to go ahead and do his face. There's a lot of things with the Joker's face that I really like that I don't normally do on other characters. There's that lip of the glove again. Okay, so for the Joker's face, a few things that are different than characters I normally draw. I kind of have a pointier chin than normal, so you can see it's not as wide as I normally would do it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start with the eyes, and I kind of like to, I put the lines in here in his brow, have them a little wrinkled, have him just having more of like a maniacal look. And the nose of Joker is something that is one of the things that I take from the Bruce Timm version of him. he's kind of got this longer, pointier nose. So I kind of do like a slight curve to this point, and then back up, it's more of like a straight line or a slight reverse curve the other way, like an inward curve, and then I'll throw in a nostril here. And now to this eye right here, I kind of have this line here and bring it down to his cheekbone and kind of have it pointy. Bring it all the way around to this side. Bring it up here where I normally put the ear. So now I can put the eyes in, and I like to kind of have another, like a darker, thick line around the eyes, especially because he's a villain. And also another thing I like to do with villains' eyes is do much smaller pupils than I might do for like a hero character. Alright, so now I'm going to get into the hair of the Joker. And first I'm going to kind of bring it to this point right here. And then just big curve out here. Bring it down to about where the ear is, the middle of the ear is. And now when I do Joker's hair, I kind of break it down into 3 large chunks. And it'll make more sense as I draw it. You'll understand, and I'll point out the chunks. So first I'm going to start with kind of like a curve up here. And then an inward curve. It's going to come to this point right here. So this would be what I consider like the first chunk or first part of his hair. And then from here, I'm going to do like another curve that comes outward and bring it down to his ear right here. So, and this would be chunk 2. And then so the final one is out here. I kind of start out to the side a little bit and then bring it up here. So it's the smaller part, but that's part 3 of his hair. And sometimes it does look a little different when I draw it, but that's kind of my method behind his hair. It's these 3 little chunks of pieces, depending on the angle. That's what ends up coming out. And then I usually will just put kind of more lines in his hair, just kind of add some detail to it. Alright, so now my favorite part of the Joker's face and the Joker, just drawing him, is his mouth. I always draw him with this big, huge smile. Which makes sense, right? He's the Joker and he's crazy. He's always having these crazy maniacal laughs. Alright, so I put this bottom lip in here. It's much thicker than the top part of the lip, so that's why I do that. And then when I draw the Joker's teeth, I like to draw them kind of messed up, jacked up, not perfect, because the Joker's nuts. He's a little crazy. And, you know, you can imagine he's probably gotten in plenty of fights with Batman, and he gets his teeth jacked up, and he probably doesn't go to the dentist to get them fixed, so sometimes he's probably missing a few teeth. So that's the Joker's face for you. Now I'm going to come back down and finish out the suit. And so a lot of times his suit will be open in this design, so I'm just going to draw the insides down here, and I'm going to kind of put this part of the coat, which is just, it's kind of like 2 triangles or like a very wide M. So you have a point, you bring it to a point here, another point here, point back out, and then that's where it connects. It connects with this inside line right here and right here. You do the same thing on the other side. It goes all the way around the neck, so the furthest part you can see from the angle is where it's going to connect. So now I got this one out here. Do the same thing, and you're going to bring it connect down here, right here. And you're going to want to try and keep these about the same level because it's going to be symmetrical. Alright, so now we've got the part of the jacket in. So now what we have left is his tie. I like to draw it like a big old bow, like a ribbon, not a bow tie, although sometimes he is shown wearing a bow tie. But I start with this centerpiece, like where the knot would be, and just kind of do a cylinder. So you got these 2 lines right here, a curve right here, and a curve right here. Now, let's start on this side. I'm going to draw you can draw like a big old circle for the ribbon, And now what you're going to do is you're going to draw the top part of it starting right here. And you're going to have it connect to it right here. And then start the bottom half, and it's going to connect right here. So that you have this bottom part that you can kind of shade if you want to show that it's like the inside part of it. Now here I'm going to have the shape coming down this way, but it's the same thing. Draw the top part. So you're going to start the top part here, and then it's going to have to meet this line down here. So now you can either start right here or start right here. I'm going to start right here this time, but this is the bottom part. We're going to do the same thing and come up here and join it. So this is the bottom part of it, and you can go ahead and shade that in if you want to. So he's got this really funny looking lopsided bow right now because this side's hanging down and this one's sticking out. It looks funny, but that's just giving you an idea of how you can draw it. Okay, so now the last part is got these the ends of it sticking down. And you probably want to make those about the same length too. Just to show if like you were tying the bow, you would want to try and keep it the same. It's like, you know, tying your shoelaces or something like that. You're trying to just keep it symmetrical as much as you can. Okay, so now we have this, and I'm just going to go ahead and darken some of the lines now that we kind of have our image done, like especially over here on the arm. Like we had these shapes, but now we're going to kind of darken these other lines that we had, and going to have more like what our finished lines would be. You can see how the shapes are kind of disappearing, and now it's kind of becoming one thing, one object, one arm, and not a square, a cylinder, another cylinder. So that's kind of what you do at the end once you're kind of confident with what you got on the page. It's when you start to make your decisions with the final image. Hand here. Alright, and there you have the Joker. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, share. Let me know what you think in the comments and give me some suggestions for other things that you want to see. Thanks for watching.